This week, Metanoia, a local progressive rock band from Sydney, released their debut EP. It is called Metanoia, self-titled. Now, we had the privilege of playing with Metanoia when we supported Opia a couple of months ago. They opened up the night along with Genetics, Us, and Mercury Sky. And they were great band live. The musicianship in that band is really, really good, and they really pull off their songs live, and they hadn't released anything at that point, so I didn't really have anything to go off in that regards, but they released their debut EP this week, and it's really, really good. I really enjoyed listening to this EP. The songs are written really, really well. A couple are maybe a little bit too long, but I think that's just a progressive rock thing. I mean, I know it's a progressive rock thing because I'm in a band of that genre. But yeah, maybe if they'd done something a little bit differently in a couple of the songs, it just would have made it worth being that extra minute, 30 seconds longer. But that's not a crutch to the EP. It's written phenomenally, and the melodies that their vocalist chooses are really unique and different for this genre. I've never really heard a prog vocalist sing in this way, and it really makes them stand out. They produce it themselves as well, which is it's a really good effort. But unfortunately, my only problems with the EP are in the production, and it's only little things. It doesn't take away from the EP, really. It just I myself am a sound engineer and a producer, and I asked the other members in my band whether they heard these production issues, and they didn't. So maybe it's just me being aware of these things just because I'm around it so much that I can hear it. And before I go into what those issues are, if the boys are listening to this, don't be discouraged by that, because I mixed our first two singles from this upcoming album, and they're not mixed well either. I know that. But this is mixed better than what I did, and it is great. It's little tiny things and things that nobody else can hear. It's just me because, you know, I'm mates with these guys, so I don't want to offend them. But I do have to critique because that's what I do. So the only thing I really could hear is there's a lot of tuning on the vocals in a couple of the songs, just little parts where you wouldn't notice it, and except for a couple of the end of phrases, you can hear the notes changing like a computer, and sometimes they just take a little bit to get to that correct note, which is not something I was listening out for. I just could hear it. And I feel like if that production had been taken down a little bit, the vocal would have sounded a bit more natural and given it a bit more emotion. And the only other thing is in one of the songs, I think it was Into the Cold, in the verses when the drums are playing, the kick is playing two different notes. I don't know if that was done intentionally. If it was, then it's not a problem, I guess. I just heard it and thought it was just two different samples. So really, that's the only negatives I have for this EP. Just tiny little production things, but that's really understandable when it's all done in-house and it's all done with no budget, and they've done a phenomenal job, and the songs are really good. You really need to go check it out and support these guys. It's up on Bandcamp now. It's up there for Name Your Price. So you can get it for free if you want to, but I highly recommend chuck them $5 or $10. It's what us local bands need, especially us local prog bands who there's not really an inbuilt audience, and we're really helping each other out here, just trying to build up this scene and get it noticed. So please go to the Bandcamp page, hit a like on Facebook as well, and help them keep going by buying the album, and then come and see them at a few of their shows that they book. We're going to go and take them out on tour, I think, because we love those guys and love their music, and they're a band that you really need to support, because they need to keep going, because they're going to have big things coming for them. So overall, I'm going to give the EP a 4 out of 5. The songs are written really well, and just a great EP, great debut. It's a debut EP, great debut EP by Metanoia.